Welcome back, Stasa23 here, back again with some knife therapy. And before I get started, if you like this video, please drop a thumbs up on it. Helps out the channel a whole bunch. And if not, thumbs down also works. And if you like knife content and you're not already, smash that subscribe button. Alrighty, today I'm going to go through my top 10, I'm gonna call them Action Kings. They have perfectly dialed in detents. And I'm going to preface this by, I couldn't think of every knife, and this is just what's in my collection and my particular example. You might have one that's absolutely terrible, but in my experience from handling a ton of knives, these companies, for the most part, are pretty darn consistent with great actions. And let's get started. These are in no particular order, but I will the last one is the reigning king out of all these. But other than that, they're all pretty darn similar. All right, first up is coming from Riyad Knives, and that is the Riyad Knives Starboy. It's wearing my anno finish, so don't mind that. But Riyad, in my opinion, after handling tons of their knives, they just do a great job. That flipper tab set up perfectly. It gives you that hard, crisp break without feeling like it's going to break your finger. This is a good example. Another good example, but also wearing my anno finish, was this Riyad K3. The K3, this one has an even better action, but I don't think you can get these anymore. At least I didn't see any available. But the action on this thing has gotten smoother and smoother. Now, the K3 is on multi-row bearings. I don't think the Starboy is. I don't recall. I'm pretty sure it's just on regular. I could be wrong. But their actions are just, man, oh man. Definitely that type of action that you want to flip it over and over again. All right, next up in the number 9 spot, not really 9 spot, but next up is coming from Drop.com. This is the Drop Gareth Bull collaboration Muri, produced for them by We Knives, another company that seems to get the detents just perfect. I mean, front flipper, the detent's not dialed in right. It's just not comfortable to use, in my opinion, especially depending on how that flipper tab the jimping set up, just perfection. I don't know if I said it before, the Starboy comes in at $200. The Muri, I'm sure they'll have another drop of these. So if you're interested in this, it has this version, and then you can get it with carbon fiber scales. The Muri came in at $238. That's 35 VN contoured scales, titanium liner lock, just a beautiful 3D milled pocket clip. Beautiful action, beautiful detent on the Muri. All right, the next up is coming from Tucson, and this is a Tepe Designs collaboration, and I always forget, also MS Knives, S90V steel. I love the look of this one. It has a custom feel to it in hand. The flipper tab's just fine. It's not the way I really like it, but it's not poking me. I can put my finger on there and just pull it back. Excellent action. I got this off of eBay auction, and I paid, I think, $88 for it, and I think it was definitely an $88 well spent. White G10, carbon fiber bolster, and I'm surprised this G10 hasn't gotten dirty. I guess because it's more polished, and usually white G10 looks terrible after a while. But that is the Tucson Bronc. I don't know the number offhand of it, but there you go. All right, this next one is another one. I'm not sure if you can get your hands on it, maybe in the secondary market, but it's coming from another fellow guy in the community, and that is A Purvis Blades. This is his Primordial MK2, I think. Yeah. And this was made for him by Bestech. Bestech's been doing an excellent job with their actions as well. And I just love the look of this knife. He had the Primordial first one done by We Knives. Then he went to Bestech. And I know he has a he just dropped a picture on his Instagram of a Primordial MK3 that kind of looks like the original, except it has this elongated hole. And I'm not sure who that one's produced by or if it's like an integral or something, but it definitely has piqued my interest. Adam's a super nice guy, and he makes knives that make sense. So there you go. That's the A-Purvis Primordial MK2. Alrighty, next up is a knife made by Bestech, branded by Bestech, and it's a collaboration with Todd Knife and Tool. Excellent, Zelric, member of our community, excellent guy, and his Bestech Malware. This thing, even though, you know, that's a pretty stabby looking blade, but the action, man, I can sit here and flip this thing all day. It almost feels like semi-soft, but the break allows it just to fly out. You know, you don't have to have a finger crushing detent in order to get that blade to whip out like that. Sometimes it's the momentum of a heavy blade, which this is not the case. And sometimes it's just a very well dialed in detent. Now, detents can be very tricky. You know, for me, something that I just can't stand is when the detent ball is not holding the blade in right, because it's oversized and you can wiggle the blade up and down before, you know, it breaks that detent. But this one is perfection. And I say perfection because, as you can see, you can use that thumb hole. Well, you can use that thumb hole just as easy as that flipper tab. And that's not, you know, that easy whenever you have, sometimes whenever that is the case, it's usually the flipper is kind of weak or vice versa. When you go to flick this, you almost break your flipper finger because of how hard it is to break that detent. Excellent job right here with the Bestech Malware, Todd Knife and Tool collaboration. Love that logo. Another one from Bestech, this isn't part of the list, but, you know, just like the K2 was, is the Bestech Falco. This one came in at $160. I'm sorry. The malware came in at $200. The Falco, this is a Kombu collaboration, 154 cm. If y'all haven't watched my testing footage with this one and review, definitely go check it out, because this knife did amazing, especially at the $150 price point. And at first I was like, ooh, $150 for this? You get the carbon fiber G10 type mixture, titanium liners, titanium backspacer, titanium clip, and pivot collar. This action is awesome, super smooth and super snappy. The only reason it didn't beat the malware is because it has more of that hook flipper tab. Not terrible. You just gotta make sure you're flipping it the right way. But that is the Bestech Falco. Alrighty, coming in number 5, coming from We Knives. This is in a collaboration with Drop. This is a We branded knife, but it is a collaboration with Esnix Knives. This is the Mini Buster. You can currently get this knife. If you're in the U.S., it's gonna be out of the U.S., but I've dealt with them before. It's a Lamnia. They have this. They have the bronze, I think, in the black bladed version still available. But I think I couldn't find any other sites. The black blade one, that one was around for a good little while after, you know, we thought they were all gone. But it seems like most of the U.S. dealers are all sold out as of now. And you can still get it at Lamnia. So if you still want one of these, you better go pick it up before it's gone, because they won't be producing any more of these, I don't think. But this one has that detent nub, where it's hard to show that in there, and it gives you this very unique flipping action. And I'm not a fan of these little tiny flipper tabs. I know some people love that, because I don't know, I'm not a fan of that. And even with that, the way this thing breaks is just such a joy. And it comes rocketing out every time. Very cool knife. They came in at, what were they? They were $289 at Lamnia, is $300. you know, for the exclusivity of it and the collaboration. His Essex knives, his actual custom pieces that he has actually sold have went for absurd amount of money, like 10 and 20 grand. So I think $300 is not a bad price. So there you go, Essex Mini Buster. Alrighty. Oh, yeah, 5. Number 4, coming from Atuya and Mr. Dave Warren. This is the Atuya Envy. I don't know if you can get this particular one, but now this is the first iteration of the Envy. They had a second, and now they're on a third. I think you can still get the third. The action on this thing is perfect. That flipper tab's canted back, and it comes rocketing out, super smooth. M390 blade steel. These were numbered. The first ones were, I think, 220, and super comfortable. I don't really love the color scheme on this, but I just haven't, you know, had time to change it. So there you go. That is the Atuya knives Envy. I wouldn't mind checking out the third iteration, see how that action is, because I know that was one thing about these Envy models that people just fell in love with, is that nice snappy action without having an overly strong detent. All right, and the next one, number 3, is this is not even a flipper, and you know, I love a good detented thumb stud deployer, and this one is awesome in my opinion, and that is the Quiet Carry Waypoint. It doesn't have a super strong detent, but I just barely press on it and it comes flying out, and I can easily slow roll it. I love that. That's something that companies struggle with too, especially if they're known for making flipper knives. You know, a lot of your overseas companies, that's all they're producing is flipper knives, and whenever they go to put a thumb stud on there, a lot of times they're just super strong. You get a nice action, but if you want to slowly roll it out like that, when you break that detent, the blade's going to come shoot out over here, and your thumb's going to be right here. So excellent detent on my particular Waypoint. Now, this particular version was the titanium, and it's got the exotic Venex super clean blade steel. This thing is pretty much rust proof with all the components. And no, that's a Lynch wire clip replacement, and I did have to modify that to make that fit. This particular one with the titanium scales came in at $295, and you know, I think it's worth it. In my opinion, it's worth it, but your mileage may differ. Right now, these are out of stock. They're a very small batch company, one-man operated company. They do have a G10 versions exactly like it's the Waypoint with G10 instead of titanium, and it's $245, and there's black and gray still available. So if you wanted one of those, you might want to go snag it up before they are out of stock, because they go quickly, and sometimes it takes a while because he goes on to a different model. All right, these next 2 are battling for the first spot, but there was a clear winner. And number 2 spot is the Protec Malibu. This is another thing that, and it's wearing my edge, another thing that a lot of companies get wrong, or it's sloppy, is getting a good detent on a button lock. There was one I just did not too long ago that I bought. It was a button lock, and it had a pretty good action, but oh yeah, the whippersnapper. No, not the whippersnapper. It's Alliance Designs. I can't think of it. Mini Slim Pickens. It had a good action with that double detent system that they added, but with the double detent in there, it wouldn't close like that. I don't know how Protec does it. You know, they've been doing it for a while, but you get that nice crisp break, and you still get that super, you know, frictionless action. Well thought out flipper tab. You can just put my finger on top of there. It comes rocketing out. This one is a user. I just picked up another one of these that I'll be doing a video comparing it with this one. As you can see, I'm starting to get some scuffs on my aluminum. My blade, it's all scuffed up, but that's what I bought it for. It's a user. So there you go. Number 2, Protec Malibu, coming in at $219, I think it is. 20 CV blade steel, made in America. Totally made in America. Love it, love it, love it. All right, the number 1 action is not made in America, not even close. And that is my Shirogorov neon light. I picked up my particular neon for $450, but it was secondhand from somebody, and I think it's well worth that. Some of the prices that I see on the secondary are outrageous. Definitely, this one's hard to explain. It's got the most fluid action, and it has that type of flipper tab that I don't really love, but it doesn't hurt my finger, and it has that same type of action that a finger breaker type detent would give you, but this one is just, when I say just crisp, comes out with authority. And I mean, come on, stupid smooth. Just an awesome knife. If you ever get a chance to handle one of these or buy one, I'd say go for it. It's a well-made piece of artwork here that's functional as well. I use this one. It has that, like, it's kind of like a bead blast, but it's almost like a vapor blast because it's S90V, which is, I think, a stainless. And I don't have any corrosion on it. I spray with EDCI every once in a while, but I just don't like the way it smudges after I use it after a while, but that's okay. Very, very smooth. Awesome, awesome knife. So there you go. That's my top 10. I would love to hear some of yours. I have other knives that, you know, could have probably taken the place of some of these. I tried to keep them to 1 per company as much as possible. You know, I did have some collaborations that were in there with like a Wii knife collaboration and a knife that was made by Bestech, you know, like these 2 right here. But I definitely like to hear what y'all have, and let me know what y'all think about mine. And I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.